We are ready to go with our final roundtable in the month of February. Joining us this morning, Democratic political analyst Marianne Marsh and Republican political analyst Rob Gray. Yeah, we're getting ready for March Madness, so stand by.
Okay.
And a little bit, maybe a break in the weather. Who knows? We'll hope. All right, so White Stadium, it's becoming a real factor in the race for mayor in Boston. Josh Kraft, he's aligned himself with protesters fighting against the demolition, and he's talking a lot about the $100,000 price tag for taxpayers. Mayor Wu, she's pushing ahead with the building of a new facility shared by the city and a professional women's soccer team, and she called it the best possible deal. There is some anti-incumbent fever out there. Do you think this is the type of issue that voters could really seize on, Marianne?
Well, I think the Kraft strategy is starting to be pretty apparent now. He's going to get all the people who oppose her on issues. White Stadium is one, bike lanes and others, and that's his floor. That's his foundation. The question is, are there enough of those voters in Boston to win this race? As of today, no. People just aren't that unhappy with things. So for Josh Kraft, after he gets everybody and stirs the pot who oppose her, what's he going to do to try to close that gap and win? That's the question.
What do you think, Rob?
I agree with Marianne. It's a NIMBY issue only for the people in that neighborhood, really, on White Stadium. And Kraft has two problems on this.
But is it, though, because of the taxpayer bill? That is going, they're all going to have to pay
a little
it.
bit, but it's not that much if you look at the budget of the city of Boston. And I think the problem for Kraft is to push the White Stadium thing. He has a conflict. His family doesn't want the White Stadium project built. They want a stadium in Everett, number one. Number two, the other problem for Kraft, a lot of people want women's professional soccer in Boston, and if it happens, it's only going to happen at White Stadium. So he's on the wrong side of that issue as well.
All right, item 2 is your bill, the bills that arrive every month. Governor Healy also feeling some heat over the utility bills. Electric delivery rates are up 30%. Gas delivery climbing as high as 38%. News Center 5's Ben Semino pressed the governor, on that last week. Listen.
People are facing.
You appointed 2 of the 3 current DPU commissioners. Does your administration bear some responsibility for not acting sooner on these rates?
No, I don't believe so. I mean, we have been focused on lowering costs across the board as an administration. They're an independent agency. There's a process they go through with these rate cases. And, you know, my point is simply like whatever the process was, we need to be looking at anything and everything we can do as a state to lower heating bills.
In the immediate aftermath of that, the governor is demanding the Department of Public Utilities, which in fairness is a quasi-independent agency, engage with utility companies to lower rates. Rob, is this another example of an issue that could seriously weaken an incumbent?
I think it stings now for Maura Healey, but it's going to dissipate as hopefully winter is coming to an end. That's really when the bills spike, when people get into not heating their house. It goes down on their sort of political calculation quotient. That being said, she looked weak on this. She appoints this entire commission, sending them a letter and complaining. She should have just done something about it.
Well, look, Maura Healey said in this piece that affordability has always been an issue with her, and it has been for a year. Credit to her that when she was asked about this by Ben, she took action and got like at least a 5% reduction. That's what voters remember, that when she finds something out, she actually acts upon it, and that's what really matters.
But the 5% is a Band-Aid. I mean, and it's on the March and April bills, not your $800 February bill, but your $400 March bill. And what is 5% of that? $20. Does that change your life?
I think Ben had the point yesterday with you and Maria. Last week with you and Maria, that it's a policy issue. So this was the quick fix, but the bigger fix is fixing the policy that led to this.
She's layered those expensive policies onto ratepayers. That's part of her green agenda. So she is still going to have to answer for that.
Are voters going to have long memories for the next winter, when this comes around again?
I think the bigger problem here is 2 things. One, what Trump and Musk are doing to this country and the economic consequences, this is going to look like nothing. But I think the really important part here is when people spoke up and they made phone calls, they got to change, and you can't underestimate the power of that.
President Trump actually called himself a king last week when he pulled federal approval for New York City's congestion pricing system. It did show his willingness to insert himself into local politics. Should Boston take notice, and do we know how he feels about bike lanes? What do you think, Rob?
Well, he probably opposes bike lanes like most common sense people. But listen, he may try and do this to Massachusetts. He'll get pushed back by the courts in New York City, but he certainly may try it here. No question about it.
Marianne?
He's trying to take over Washington, D.C. as we speak in receivership and run Washington, D.C. Every city should be worried about Donald Trump doing to that. But for some people, like Boston and Michelle Wu, if he does, it's a political benefit.
We continue on the record. Stay with us.